Alright, I can probably figure it out then if it's just a, because it will be marked here. Yeah. Yeah, it does show them on the map here. For whatever reason, I thought I was already in the place it was showing. Side store is only available when Particio is in the party. I mean, like, I don't need to, oops. Wrong thingamabob there, then. I need the tavern. I don't need to be a decent bit stronger to do this, do I? Or anything like that? I'm a traveler, what can I do you for? Oh. And it doesn't heal the dudos out of the part, unless... If I go sleep, will it, heal up my other dudos as well? I wonder, I don't know, let's just go here and try this.
The emblem drawn on that card. It can't be. Is that the crest of the legendary merchant Masood? Come to think of it, he was supposed to hail from around these parts. Masood, the merchant who walked the entirety of both the eastern and western continents. Every merchant worth their salt would give a left kidney to read the chronicles he penned of his travels, the mercantile manuscript. To think I'd have the chance to meet him in a place like this. I need to take a gander at that mercantile manuscript.
So, we need to take a gander at the mercantile manuscript in that case. Wind Soulstone. It's locked. Oh.
Who are you?
Howdy, you're the legendary merchant Masood, ain't you? Oh, there's something I'm dying to ask you.
It's polite to introduce oneself before shouting questions at strangers, you know.
Oh, pardon me. Particio, at your service. I'm a merchant.
So? What does Particio the merchant want with a retired old man like me?
Oh, I've heard stories about you ever since I was a chickadee. Like that time you struck a deal with that horde of bandits, or when you saved that little kingdom in the west from famine. Oh yeah, and when you scuffled with the royal family? That story's stuck in my old noggin.
I asked you what you wanted with me. A merchant should know how to get to the point.
Yeah, right again. Sorry, got carried away. I'll cut to the chase. Let me read that chronicle you penned, the mercantile manuscript.
No. Now leave.
Huh?
Don't make me repeat myself. I have no obligation nor reason to let a nobody like you anywhere near it.
Nobody? Now listen here, that's hurtful. Besides, even a nobody's got a nobody's pride. And if I may toot my own horn, I've got some merchant chops to my name.
Oh, you do you? Then I'll give you a test. Prove your worth to me, oh nobody of supposed talent.
This is what I'm talking about. You got yourself a deal, fella.
Good. As a merchant, there's one treasure I value above all else. Bring it to me.
Huh?
If you profess to be a merchant, the answer should be obvious. Of course, if you think this test unfair, you could just give.
Interesting. I always stock whatever it is my customer's looking for. That's my merchant's creed. I promise, I'll figure out what your treasure is, fella, and bring it right here to you.
I'd very much like to see you try.
Legendary Masood's treasure, huh? I'll need to start by looking for clues. Maybe someone around town knows a thing or two about it. Time to gather information.
Alright, so I guess we're gonna look on into things. It still shows his icon, like, in the top right there. But, yeah, I can bribe for useful information and stuff, but, I assume if I go back right now, I'm not gonna be able to, do much. Yeah, I can't path action.
As a merchant, there's one treasure I value above all else. Bring it to me.
I don't want to go around bribing everyone. I mean, yeah, so this would be buying stuff from you. Lute. An instrument played in Hinauma since times of old. Huh. Because, I mean, like... if I had Oswald, I could always inquire instead. Right? Should I really quickly, like... Oh! 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 Oh, that's cool. Tell me if you need me. That's neat, I like that. So if we did something like, say, this... I wonder... Oh, that's the mugging. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Should I not have closed that tab? I wonder. Oh. Befriend. Mug. Hire this person. Wire around town. It'd be nice if I knew roughly where I was going with that. Whoa. I'll try bribing this person, but we'll see here.
Will this do?
Merchant deals on lutes, a stringed instrument with roots in Hinauma. His love for lutes is second to none, and he carries a wide selection of wares for any interested, whether they are beginners or seasoned professionals. Lute's tones are simple, yet mysterious and profound, which is why it is known as the instrument of the heavens. Practically none. Mug him for his loot. The loot is apparently like some sort of key item there. Many skilled loot players in Ku. I'd love to go there again someday. What was the thing Bob called again? Scent of Commerce. Octopath 2 Scent of Commerce. I'm gonna look it up again, because my resources are very limited at this point. I don't want to go around bribing everyone. You know, I could always save scum it. But meh. Let's see here. Scented Commerce inside takes less time to complete, though it's a bit costly. It kicks off once you arrive in town with Particio and your party. He notices the insignia of a famous merchant named Masood and wants to meet him. Masood is his king, yada yada. Change the time to night, go outside, and hire Masood's daughter. Wait, what? Get Masood again. Where? Yeah, what now? I'm very confused because she's not out here or anything like that. So,
As a merchant, bring it to me.
Okay, well, not what I would have guessed, but I suppose it makes sense. So maybe I should have just... Welcome, welcome, I recommend the fine desert wine. So maybe it was good enough just to be, like, normal chatting, not inquiring with people. Maybe. I don't see anyone I can chat with there. So you may be interested in purchasing some tasty water? Nope. You know where I can find her? I'd stay inside if I were you. I can't let a civilian wander into the middle of the battlefield. Turn back. Oh. Well. Hello? Hi? You know, bed and breakfast traveler. It's a field hospital. Well, is she necessarily in the town here? Oh, it says there, Masood's daughter. My father taught me that we should all treasure ourselves. So, like... Okay. So...
Let's get to work.
Alright, I'll follow you. Okay. So... Yeah, here we go. And we add another person to the party, just like with Octopath 1. And then... Hi?
As promised, I brought you your treasure, Masood.
You did you? Show me.
Your greatest treasure is her, your daughter.
Incorrect. Try again.
What?
It is true that many value their family above any jewel or gem. But that is not the answer that I am seeking for this particular test. Better luck next time.
Tarnation. I was sure I had it.
What is this test that father gave you?
Huh?
Ah, what father meant wasn't his treasure in particular, but what a merchant treasures most. The thing you treasure most as a merchant isn't leaves or sundries, right?
A merchant's treasure.
That's all the hints you'll get from me. Good luck.
What do I treasure as a merchant? Like she said, not leaves or sundries, that's for sure. That's it. My greatest treasure is me. In which case, Masood must feel the same way, too. It's worth a shot, anyhow.
So Masood's greatest treasure is Particio? I got it. Look, I can hire him now. Wait. Merchant, there's one treasure available above all else. Bring it to me and you can read the mercantile manuscript. I didn't have path actions here before. It's a lot of funds to bribe.
You want to hire me? What is the meaning of this insult, Mr. Nobody?
I've figured out your treasure, fella. It's you, yourself. You asked me to find the treasure you value most as a merchant. I figured every merchant's got one treasure they set store by above all else. Connections they've built, book learning, and experience. All these things are far more valuable than any material object, leaves included. Or am I wrong?
Correct. I'm surprised you got it.
Of course I did. My greatest treasure's the same as yours, after all. Besides, your daughter gave me a friendly push in the right direction. If I couldn't find the answer after all that, I'd have no right to call myself a merchant.
I am honestly astonished that there are still merchants in this world who know how to see to the heart of matters. There have been dozens like you who have come here seeking my mercantile manuscript. Every one of them failed this test and went home empty-handed. I started to think the world had gone dull since I retired. Here. Take it.
What's this?
The key to the archive in which I placed my mercantile manuscript. Read to your heart's content.
Yippee! You sure it's all right?
I've grown old. I don't have much time left. When I pass, so too will my greatest treasure, correct? So I might as well pass on a part of that treasure to you, Particio the merchant. The sum treasure of those who came before you.
You got it, fella. Thank you.
Obtain Mercantile Manuscript Archive Key. You can now peruse the Mercantile Manuscript in the archives. Records are full of information documented by Masood. You never know what knowledge you may glean about items, equipment, and more. Okay. So we get a bunch of lore and stuff? History of Hinouma. Southwest Solistia, where the desert sands stretch as far as the eye can see, and yet hidden among the barren dunes is an oasis, a strip of semi-arid terrain running north and south along the riverlands. Here, the soil is fertile, and barley and corn can be grown in relative abundance. Countless wars have been waged over the water and resources of this region, and not a few kingdoms have risen and fallen in this place over the centuries. It is also here that legends of priestess Hinoe Kegura, the conjurer goddess, have survived and been passed down. It is these tales that lend this land its name, Hinouma. Hinoeuma? I don't know, man. In the eye of the desert sits Sai, a fortress city once known as the Orochi Bastion. Once held by the forces of U, it was taken by Ku 2 decades ago. Northwest of this can be found Ryu, a well-known traveler stop where information from all across the world eventually settles. One might be surprised that so many blisteringly short names like Ku and U are common to the desert regions. Locals say the propensity for brevity is because the longer the mouth flaps, the more sand finds its way in, but the truth of the matter is unknown. History of the Wildlands. Southwest Solistia is a barren wasteland, a blasted expanse of volcanic rock that resists even the loneliest blade of grass. The few brave souls who eke out their existence here have long suffered the sulfuric whims of Fiatsuro and its unstable neighbors. And yet, life always finds a way. Among the rock and stone dwell the Goat, an unusually large breed of goat who subsist on a meager fare of local weed. Unlike other goats, they exceed bovines in their capacity for producing milk, grow fleece more suitable for cloth than sheep, and even produce extraordinarily flavorful meat as well. In all matters of livestock, they outstrip the competition, and so have become known as the jewels of the wastelands. The cheese produced from their milk is especially scrumptious, and has become a local specialty. As a final note, the volcanic soil conceals a wealth of valuable minerals. Many small mining towns have sprung up here, including the southern town of Oarsrush, established by silver merchants Pop and Roke. So Mr. Dudo had heard about it, huh? Western Solistia is home to the small lakeside kingdom of Timberine. Surrounded by great sweeps of verdant forest, this land is rich in natural resources. Thick woodland loam provides fertile ground for agriculture, and the seemingly inexhaustible supply of trees fuels industries such as lumber and paper manufacturing. The small village of Cropdale is famous for its raspberries and peaches, and its fruit pies are widely known to be especially scrumptious. That being said, this rural settlement has an abundance of peach-centric cuisine. Peach jam, peach juice, peach salad, peach soup, sautéed peach, fried peach, peach pilaf, steamed peach, to name just a few. Some might say Cropdale has an overabundance of peach dishes, but it's simply just because the locals can't decide on a favorite. In the south of this area, one can find the town of Wellgrove. Though it has grown wealthy through a brisk trade with the resource-poor desert regions further south, the disparity in wealth this has created is the seed for ceaseless conflict and turmoil among the border. Reach for the next shelf. History of the Harborlands. Southern Solistia is home to long tracts of twisting coastline, along which one can find the bustling port of Kennelbrine. During the Age of Exploration, roughly 100 years ago, ships launched from this town's piers would discover the sea routes that led to the eastern continent. Kennelbrine's symbol is its colossal lighthouse. Of course a lighthouse would be coastal, that's inherent with it being a lighthouse. Which guides ships from all corners of the world safely into its harbor. Erected roughly 20 years ago by a cadre of engineers who fled the destruction of U, it boasts a unique design. Special ore was polished to a mere sheen and fashioned into a reflector plate, and the light it emits can supposedly be seen all the way in New Delsta. Today, Kennelbrine's church is an important launching point for proselytizers and evangelists who come from the eastern continent to spread the teachings of the sacred flame. History of Totohaha. Southeastern Solistia is dominated by an ocean dotted by countless islands of all shapes and sizes. The largest of these is Totohaha, which was first encountered by continental pioneers 20 years ago. In its western reaches reside the Beastlings, a petite people with fluffy tails. On the east of Totohaha lies the town of Tropohopu, which was established by the first continental pioneers to settle on the island. The harbor town's proximity to New Delsta caused it to be developed as a resort for the wealthy. In addition, it produces many luxury goods, such as delicious coffee beans, and now serves as an important stop along the trade routes between eastern and western continents. Since ancient times, the Beastlings have long referred to the northern of the two islands as Haha and the southern as Toto. However, ever since a local festival celebrating the bonds of family and the prosperity of the entire Beastling race was established, the names of both islands have been combined into one, Totohaha. History of the Brightlands. Eastern Solistia is an urban region home to the continent's largest city. Blessed by warm sunshine and a pleasant climate, it soon became known as the Brightlands. Agricultural abundance caused the region to flourish, and people flocked here in droves. Wealth soon followed, and development soon after. Before long, buildings like theaters and game parlors were erected to entertain the ever-growing crowds, and now the light of civilization shines as bright here as the sun does overhead. At the center of all this lies the Brightlands' beating heart, New Delsta, established approximately 50 years ago by immigrants from the former kingdom of Delstash. The people gave this new home a name that honored their old. Finally, in the east of these lands can be found Clockbank, an industrial center that has prospered ever since the Age of Discovery. Okay, next shelf, History of the Crestlands. Northeast Solistia, a land of mountains and hills. Perched high atop one stony peak rises Elfric Cathedral, the center of the Sacred Flame faith. Adherents of this religion's tenets have worshipped the sacred flame that the cathedral houses since time immemorial. An ancient record dated 1500 years ago makes mention of the sacred flame's veneration continuing since the misty days of the past. Even through the bitterly cold winter a century previous, the flame continued to warm the hearts and souls of all who visited. In both name and spirit, the sacred flame and its church are the divine lords of this land. At the base of the cathedral lies a small town of Flame Church. Though its population is small, the townsfolk make a good living providing for the crowds of pilgrims who travel here to visit the cathedral. Alright, so wait, that was the, okay. Northern Solistia is a frozen place of snow that, I was trying to rack my brain for if, I had read that one before, and it killed my brain, I guess. Northern Solistia is a frozen place of snow and ice. Its capital is Stormhail, a mountainous city that houses the Sacred Guard. Established roughly 380 years ago, the Sacred Guard was the brainchild of Archbishop Kinchler. After the cold snap that assailed the eastern continent in the previous century, the order established its headquarters here. To this day, its holy organization's mission remains unchanged, to uphold law and order across the continent. It is said that Stormhail owes its existence to its guardian, Glassus. Residing on the sacred peak, Altae, it is thought that Glassus put an end to the cold snap that nearly spelled doom for all who lived here. Travel towards the coast and you will find the fishing town of Cape Cold. Great hauls of salmon, trout, mackerel, squid, and more are brought in almost daily. In addition, many who dwell here work in agriculture or textiles, and lately, a hardy species of cold-resistant barley has caused quite a stir. Okay, so now the outer continent. The farthest edges of the four corners of Solistia are detailed on no maps, called the outer continent. The reasons why these vast stretches remain unexplored are many. Possibly high mountains and deadly currents, to name a few. Of course, in my opinion, it is less the difficulty of the task and more indolence that has left these areas uncharted. Think about it for a moment. Who is at war with some unnamed kingdom or kingdoms to its south? Immigrants from some unknown eastern locale walk the streets of New Delsta. Fruit from the west and textiles from the north are smuggled into our lands with abandon. The unknown is a place of magical appeal to me. What sights are there to be seen across the horizon? What strange music? What surprising smells? What fascinating spices and cuisine to tempt the taste buds? All of these draw my curiosity, but more than that, all offer unimaginable opportunities for a merchant with business savvy and a healthy wanderlust. I hope the leaders of our lands move quickly to pen maps of these mysterious lands in the outer continent. Outer continent. A poor name for a universe of possibility. We are prisoners in a tiny cave called Solistia, satisfied by shadows cast by a light that streams in from outside the walls which confine us. Alright, history of grapes and plums. Guess we're doing a reading simulator now. Grapes, delicious grapes. They heal the body, while the tart juices of the plum revitalize the spirit. These two restorative fruits are ubiquitous throughout the world. Yet, there is a darker side to these innocuous-seeming treats. According to some myths, their cultivation was forbidden to man by the gods themselves. There are many tales why, but two stand out above all else. Firstly, the devilish liquid called liquor can be easily made from their juices, and the gods do not look with favor upon those who drown themselves in drink. The second most widespread story states that they were prohibited because of how easily they could be turned to use as tools of war. Whichever of these myths may be true, it seems that humanity has broken a sacred promise with the divine. Lychee imports. Licky import? I don't know. The lychee, a succulent fruit from the outer continent that activates the latent power of an individual. Though its beneficial effects are well documented, it is equally well known for the difficulty of its cultivation. Many talented farmers and merchants have tried their hand at raising crops of lychee over the years, but none of their efforts have borne fruit. Meanwhile, a baseless rumor has long made the rounds in the cultivation community. According to some, the lychee must drink the blood of humans to produce its yield. This sinister story has been the cause of many tragedies, as unscrupulous fools seek to write their fortune in their victims' blood. Because of this, the lychee has earned itself an unpalatable appellation, the vampire fruit. Nut cultivation. Nuts, nuts, nuts! The fruit of certain trees, with a hard shell concealing nutrient-rich meat and seed within. Nuts are enjoyed the world around as foodstuffs. Thank goodness for that end clarification. However, not all nuts are created equal. Those harvested from some wild trees have powerful effects that are proven to enhance a human's abilities. Scholars have classified these as rare nuts and have poured blood, sweat, and tears into cracking the secrets of cultivating these precious products. Yet little progress has been made. It seems the moment that cultivation is attempted, the nuts lose their special properties. The mystery remains unsolved, and so these nuts remain a highly sought after and prized commodity. On concoction. Concoction is the process by which two or more materials are mixed together to craft medicine. Legend states that it was Doter the Charitable who bestowed this holy art upon humanity, yet the truth is more impressive by far. Generations of healers have, through trial and error, discerned the medicinal effects of plants, seeds, stones, and more. They mixed, brewed, and ultimately tested their concoctions upon themselves, a testament to humanity's bravery and sacrifice in its pursuit of knowledge. Concoction, however, is not simply knowledge of ingredients' properties. No, a skilled apothecary must know how to judge a patient's symptoms and measure the correct amounts to treat their ills. As such, any apothecary able to simultaneously mix 3 ingredients is a master of their craft, and any who can fix 4 can be considered a genius. Though it is not impossible to mix more than this number, this monumental feat is almost unheard of. Principles of the Soul Stone. Soul Stones are items which, when subjected to significant enough physical shock, can unleash effects equivalent to certain spells. Though the exact process by which this occurs remains a mystery, it has long been hypothesized that they are stones that have been imbued with the power of spirits. Recent studies, however, have given rise to a new theory that has been gaining traction among the learned. According to this theory, soul stones are the crystallized remains of a magically potent monster's corpse. If this theory is true, it may become possible for us to artificially mass-produce mighty soul stones in the not-too-distant future. The question then becomes, of what use will we pour this power once it is in our hands? Though I am excited by the possibilities, I also find myself terrified of them in equal measure. Herbs and their use. There are many afflictions which can plague the patient, and each requires a very specific herbal remedy. Confusingly enough, the herb used to treat all of the standard gamut of ailments is the same, herbweed. This useful herb's effects can vary greatly, depending on how it is prepared. Taken in one sense, it shows how precious this medicinal plant is. Taken in another, it shows just how simple the human body's makeup can be. As a side note, herbweed can also be used to add a bit of zest to cuisine. How grand! Not only can it speed someone along the road to recovery, but can speed them to the dinner's table as well. Alright, the origin of bottling. In the arid lands of Hinouma, having a good water bottle can mean the difference between life and death. Okay, the Legend of Zelda intensifies. To better store and preserve every last drop of precious liquid, the people poured much effort into perfecting the art of bottle crafting. Among all the many types of bottles, those crafted by small Recon clan are the finest. Manufactured through secret methods, they are unmatched in their lightweight construction and durable frames. Unfortunately for the Recon clan, their monopolization of these secrets earned them the ire and jealousy of other clans, eventually sparking a bloody conflict. Nevertheless, what the Recon clan lacked in military strength, they made up for in brutal cunning. Their victory became assured after they hit upon the idea of filling their bottles with poison and flinging them at their enemies. It was thus that the defensive martial art known as bottling was born. Beastling foodways. Beastlings are tenacious hunters, known to stalk their quarries for days on end. Their vocation requires not just skills at tracking and felling beasts, though, but at preserving the meat of their prey as well. Their earliest developed methods of preservation were simple. Salting and drying are easy and effective. Eventually, however, tired of the same old fare, there were those that sought tastier techniques. Lava steaming, saltwater tenderization, underground fermentation, all of these and more were passed down among the beastlings, and over the centuries, this led to the development of unique culinary cultures. Nowadays, in the kitchens of New Delta's most fashionable bistros, famed chefs find inspiration in the beastling's innovative methods. Etymology of leaf as currency name. Ah, we get the lore on that, huh? Herbweed, a miraculous plant required to craft every variety of healing herb. Its discovery revolutionized medicine, and I'm reading the wrong thing. Herbweed. No, plant. I'm definitely selecting the one on leaf. Its discovery revolutionized medicine and has saved innumerable lives, earning it the epithet, the plant of the gods. Unfortunately, herbweed is notoriously difficult to cultivate and only grows natively in a few limited regions. Because of this, as the apothecary art advanced, so too did the value and rarity of this irreplaceable ingredient. Eventually, this caused its price to spiral out of control. To curb this growing problem, various lands put ministers or lords in charge of overseeing herbweed production and trade, and soon, the price of each precious leaf was fixed. This stability eventually led merchants, commoners, and nobles alike to begin using leaves in place of other currencies, so kind of like a origin of using the term buck for dollars and stuff. Disputable though that this is widely believed that the origin of leaf as common parlance for currency originates from this time. What have we here? Oh, a little stretch from the doogie. On weaponsmithing, there exist only 6 primary weapon categories: swords, polearms, daggers, axes, bows, and staves. Actually, this is not an accurate statement. Bound by the rules of the Blacksmith Guild, the manufacture of weapons outside these 6 categories is strictly prohibited. Why limit the scope of human imagination? Religion, of course. The 6 weapon types are those wielded by the gods, and they will tolerate no other. Or, at least, that's a lie disguising the greedy truth. The fact is, it is much easier to monopolize the materials and techniques for arms production if you can limit what can be made. Or so a little bird told me anyway. Whatever the truth, this prohibition has resulted in very few wielders of whips, flails, and so on. Enchanted and magical weapons. Among the many weapons one may find in this world, some are imbued with magical properties. These enchanted weapons are both rare and powerful. There are 2 primary means of crafting an enchanted weapon. The first sounds simple in principle, but is in fact quite difficult to achieve. Few craftsmen possess the necessary skills. Simply put, magic must be carefully folded into the weapon during the forging process. The second method is much rarer and harder to replicate. These enchanted weapons gain their power naturally, their magic imbued over many years by a gifted wielder. Very few of these have ever been documented, and it is thought that only those with incredibly powerful wills can make these miraculous weapons spring into being. On ornamentation. What is ornamentation? Literally interpreted, it refers to ornaments worn for fashion, like a big floppy garish hat. This assumption is a common one, but it is in fact erroneous. The truth of the matter is that true ornamentation refers only to special jewels crafted by dedicated, sacred craftsmen. Only a handful of leaders are permitted to wear these ornamentations, partly because many of them are imbued with unique magical properties. Prime examples would be an amulet that protects against offensive magic, or a necklace that greatly increases the abilities of the wearer. Unfortunately, the knowledge and techniques needed to craft these potent relics are slowly being lost, and their rarity is only bound to increase as the sands of time continue to fall. Battle-tested armaments. To the victor go the spoils, a long-standing tradition adhered to by those who live by the sword. The stronger take from the strong, until at last the day comes when the ultimate warrior and ultimate weapon are united. When a weapon has triumphed over countless foes, remaining undefeated in the hands of a skilled wielder, it becomes what is known as a battle-tested armament. Nowhere is it written that these armaments must be a masterwork weapon crafted by a renowned smith. No, these weapons are forged in the fires of battle. As they taste the blood of innumerable mighty warriors, they awaken to a greater power that dwarfs that of their humble origins. Was that a type of weapon in the original Octopath 1 as well? Like, again, it's been 5 years ago since I did the Octopath 1 playthrough, so it's been a little while. But was it battle-tested armaments where it's like, their damage would increase as you got more and more kills with that character with that weapon and stuff? But you needed to take out a lot of foes to, like, bring it up. It was kind of like Beastmaster and Bravely Default 2, but the weapon rather than the class, and just how hard the weapon hits or something like that, and there was only so many of them. I don't remember. More battle-tested armaments. The bards sing of legendary weapons passed down through countless ages. After untold thousands of fierce battles and stunning victories, they have acquired power beyond imagining. A sword that can cleave the sun, a spear that can pierce the moon, a dagger that can send all the stars in the sky tumbling down, an axe that can split the earth in twain, a bow that can transfix the heavens, a staff that can call calamities untold. Of course, these are mere turns of phrase, exaggerations, no doubt. Still, very few know the true power of the battle-tested armaments. Why, you ask? Because most of these weapons have long slept in graves beneath the soil. Divine weapons and arms masters. In times of yore, the gods entrusted humanity with 6 divine weapons so that they could protect themselves from evil. The Conqueror's sword, the Warlord's spear, the Dancer's blade, the Lionheart's axe, the Hunter's bow, and the Spirit Lord's staff. It is said that each of these weapons houses incredible power, and that those who can unlock it will earn themselves the title of Arms Master. And yet, the divine weapons were too mighty for humankind. Driven by greed and ambition, the Arms Masters soon began to quarrel amongst themselves. One by one, these artifacts were lost, and with them, the skills and knowledge needed to wield them. Still, there are some who remember. Among these learned few, it is thought that the rightful heirs to the secrets of these weapons still reside in this land, passing their knowledge down through generations of chosen successors. Of course, this is more likely than not just an empty fantasy. Demi-humans, a study. Demi-humans are creatures that resemble humans, and yet are entirely different beasts. There are 8 major types currently known: the verminous ratkin, the reptilian lizardmen, the avian birdians, the amphibian frogans, the simian apes, the subterranean moles, the feline kate, and the cephalodolphin octopuffs. Octopuff traveler. I guess beastlings are a separate thingamabob then. Demi-humans have displayed a propensity for much higher levels of intelligence than monsters, and are known to employ tools to some extent in their daily lives. And yet, to this day, their origins remain shrouded in mystery. According to the histories, they simply appeared one day, as if by magic, throughout the world. On Kates. Kates are a skittish race, the most timid of all the demi-humans. According to myth, there was once a great war fought between humanity and the demi-humans. The conflict was long and bloody, but in the end, humanity emerged the victor. Through wisdom or foresight, the Kate alone sided with mankind during this strife, and this alliance won them a place within human society. Unfortunately, the clever and cunning nature of the Kate soon earned them the ire of their neighbors. Before long, they found themselves ostracized and cast out. Labeled as traitors by demi-human and human societies, the Kate withdrew from both to pursue isolated lives hidden away from all who might do them harm. The smell of beloved, delicious catnip, seems to be the only thing that can draw them out of the hidden places they call their homes. How about octopuffs? Octopuffs are the most independent of all the demi-humans, and are the only ones that chose not to participate in the mythological war between humanity and the demi-humans. They are known to prefer travel to battle, and it is said that the octopuffs prefer traveling, and it is said that they only stop their wanderings when their time on this earth is over. There are many superstitions regarding the octopuff. Their passion for travel and idealistic search for paradise has led some to believe they are symbols of good fortune. There are even rumors that only those pure of heart can encounter them. Of course, adults who have long lost the innocence of childhood can still employ cunning to improve their odds of encountering these rare creatures. Octopuffs favor small, dark spaces, and so the shrewd use octopuff pots to draw them out. Riddles of the demi-humans. All demi-humans possess a certain modicum of intelligence. For example, ratkin are known to steal and employ human weaponry and clothing, and birdians possess the ability to craft primitive stone axes. And yet, a burning question remains unanswered. Who fabricated the crowns and other ornaments that demi-human leaders are often seen wearing? As far as we know, the demi-humans do not possess the technology or art to craft such intricate accessories. More curious yet, both the make and material of these ornaments are clearly not of human design. So, where did they come from? Where, for that matter, did the demi-humans themselves come from? This is merely a theory without any evidence to support it, but perhaps these strange creatures hail from another world entirely. The Great Wall and Myth and Legends. But yeah, because I guess they appeared out of nowhere according to the histories, huh? Guarding the town of Stormhail and the Winterlands is the Great Wall, a colossal construction that has long kept the town safe from external threats. A local legend states this massive fortification was raised in a single night by the gods themselves. Sturdy and strong, yet intricate in its design. It is clear that this wall is indeed a feat of engineering beyond what modern civilization is capable of. The legend of this wall continues thus. The Great Wall is merely one small segment of some greater fortress, and the central citadel itself lies deep underground. Many archaeologists have spent years attempting to uncover this hidden redoubt, to no avail. More curious is the event that occurred some 820 years ago. An enormous cavity suddenly appeared in the Great Wall, though none know who created it or how. Later given the name of the Pit of Darkest, it was the catalyst for a conflict between the fallen kingdoms of Fial and Delskash, I don't know. The struggle would later be known as the War of the Great Wall. Gate to the Netherworld. The poet Kai penned this passage some 100 years ago. On island lost in sea split twain lies a portal to an alien plane. Beware, be warned, ye fools who'd approach, for none should draw near this gate encroach. When Kai first published this passage, it was assumed this island was a mere figment, the product of a poet's overactive imagination. However, in recent years, Kai's less well-known history as an adventurer has come to light. Scholars have begun to debate whether his poems were not fantasy, but in fact, the annals of his travels. A warning for you who reads this entry. Though the existence of a portal to an alien plane seems preposterous, we must remember that what seemed impossible yesterday becomes common sense tomorrow. Sneer at what you don't understand at your own peril, for one day you may find yourself on the wrong side of the truth. So the beastlings came through some sort of a gate, and there's a gate to the, or like some sort of a portal, they came from another world, and there's a gate to the Netherworld that's going on? It wouldn't happen to be something like a Gate of Finis, would it? Or anything like that. Would it now? But I guess that's what this game is going to be working towards, is the gate to the Netherworld and where all the demi-humans came from. I guess. So probably just like go back to the party setup that I was running here before. And I can do some proper grinding another time. Here, a tail. Oh yeah, because but yeah, that's required. Well, not required level, but recommended level 17, and we're like 13, 12, 12, 11. Probably not a good idea. I should probably get my other travelers here first. Which on that front, I can probably ham out one more chapter 1 today. If I go west from here, right? Yeah, let's give that a go. Let's do it.